We should include the audio, but hello and welcome to the Tier 3 Xbox Racing League, or the BRL Breakout Racing League. I am your main commentator, Zach the Beast 42, usually for Tier 3. So we are back once again with a 10-driver grid here at the São Paulo Grand Prix here at Brazil. I am joined by Moo Moo Milk, but we'll get to him in a minute. But as you see in qualifying, it is dry, but in São Paulo, the track, fun fact, is in between two lakes, I believe, but which should be interesting for the weather later on for the race. But speaking of weather, I was just told by DXCHGO, so it's going to be dry both sessions, so disregard that. But Moo Moo, how are you feeling for Tier 3 Xbox and seeing that we are 4 races away now from the season being over?
Very exciting because the championship is really heating up. I think it's only like a 10-point difference between Ron and Gary, so if you love that race here, either of them, then it'll be a big deal because there's not many races left to catch back up.
Yes, speaking of Ron and Gary, both of them are here, but I am assuming once you get the standings pulled up, I'll let you do the rundown of that. But like I said, 10-driver grid here for Tier 3, the first of equal tier racing between tonight and Saturday night, so something interesting to look out for as well, and tomorrow and later on tonight for Tier 4. But this is Tier 3, but something to talk about is that we have a debut driver in the Mercedes AMS Hamilton 272. This is his debut race in the Mercedes, as Quick Tongue unfortunately had to drop out of the tier.
Yep, and I started innings, so Ron leads the way, 276 points, Gary second, 266. Then a big drop in third, Ardell, 187, and then Ichigo, 141, and I believe it's only his top 3 at this point mathematically.
Yes, mathematically, speaking mathematically, I did not do the math, so it was still, I have no clue, so,
points left,
yeah.
And Ardell is 89 points back and dropped to 135.
Yeah, so Ardell could be in elimination here tonight, if my math is correct in my head.
Yeah, he definitely can.
But, so that would mean that if he does get eliminated, he'll only be down to 2 drivers, that is Gary and Ron. But speaking of Gary, let's look at the tires here. It is 3 drivers on the mediums and 7 on the softs. The first driver that crossed the line will be Alfa Romeo Dixie. Never mind. It will be, I believe it's an Alpine. No, he's on an outlap. So, first driver to cross the line on a lap will be the Red Bull BRL Ardell. Let's see what that time he'll be able to do here to set the benchmark. Here you go, straight lines to start finish line. And actually, DXT put in a 13.4, but Ardell easily beats that with 7.9 as Solar has joined the session. So that will be now an 11-driver grid for this tonight's Grand Prix.
Yeah, I did not know that. That's slowly be doing it.
Yeah. Next driver to cross the line, I was about to say, the Haas of Kieran. He is back in the Haas for an 8.377. Next will be Goofy and the mediums as well, 8.679. So, next driver to cross the line, that is Gary on the mediums as well. Let's see what he's able to do. B4, a 9.136. That is something interesting to look out for. Let's see if that is just his medium quality pace or that he's going to be down on pace, but can't make assumptions, especially knowing that we're only so far 4 minutes in session. But speaking about pace, Ron goes fastest for 7.7 on the soft, so already having some question marks in the air right now. But I believe Gary's on another push lap, but with that low ERS,
yeah, I don't think he's going to improve.
Yeah,
a lot of numbers here. Only evaluated.
Next drive across the line, that was actually DXCHGO on a second lap on his softs with a 7.9. So it seems like the 2 sister teams of Ferrari and Alfa Romeo are 1-2 currently. 6 drivers sitting on lap time, and the other 5 are sitting in the pit lane, except for GXR Rage, as he's on another lap since he invalidated on the last one. That is a yellow flag. I believe that is just a DXCHGO just getting out of the way.
Oh, wait, Miss Hilton.
But,
that
could.
That's reportable.
That is reportable, but it'd be down to stewards to decide if that would be a super license point infraction or not. But I think that's just a rookie mistake. You can't report him for that. Gotta let him know first. Just give him a little warning there. Don't report it, but Whiffy goes P4 with an 8 flat, basically with an 1:08.008. I believe they show across the line. The only driver to be on a lap to cross the line, I believe, will be Rage unless Gary's doing another push-up. Unless, yes, he is. I think he's doing some practice laps out there to get the track down.
That's fair enough.
But now Alpine, yeah, fair enough for Gary. But Alpine crossing the line now. Let's see what lap time he'll be able to do. He does an 8.4, which will put him P6. So that is interesting. Gary, and I believe that's Kieran all in the mediums, P5, P7, and P8. As Gary will be crossing the line with little to no ARS, so no improvement there. Next drive to start across the line, that is on a lap, I believe.
And Gary did not. He was just continuing to.
Yep, those are practice laps. Ixish goes invalidated, so it must be AMS Hamilton unless I'm missing someone.
Yeah, he's on the lap. Probably he goes a little wide, but didn't carry enough speed, so gave it to him to invalidate.
Yes, that will be interesting to look out for track limits, because personally, I saw a little something interesting on the realistic stream. I saw a lot of people extending that corner. You don't get a warning or even a time penalty as long as you just barely lift. Is that a yellow flag? I believe that is just Ixish go spun around.
Yeah, generally with the...
Yes, it is.
Yeah, generally with the track limits, if you stay off the track long enough and lift off slightly, it usually gives it to you.
Amos Hamilton to cross the line, and he goes pole. The rookie here in the Mercedes, like Lewis Hamilton himself, will go top with a 7.381. He's really looking like he's a role model out there. That's truly inspirational. Next driver to cross the line will be, that's on a push lap, is Ardell.
Whiffy's also on the lap. Into the final sector.
Yes.
Oh, Whiffy.
He's on low fuel though.
Yeah. So
he's out of fuel. Yep, so it will be the Red Bull BRL Ardell going through Sector 2 now, about to start Sector 3. Let's see what his Sector 2 time is in relation to his other Sector 2 time. It is a 51 flat, 3/10 up. That will put him at a 7.6, which will put him ahead of Ron, but behind the Mercedes driver, Amos Hamilton. That's pretty corny. That's pretty corny to me. Red Bull and Mert in front row here. If Ardell gets it right here.
And he does.
Yep, that is second.
Well, yeah, Ardell needs that. If he wants to stay in this championship.
The only driver, yeah, he needs that to stay in the championship, like you said. But the next driver to cross the line will be a McLaren of MSC Solar, unless that is Hamilton. No, he's in the pits. Yeah, that's Hamilton in the pits. But Solar on the mediums in the McLaren. Let's see what he does here. He's going to set an 8.5, no, an 8.6. I was barely off on the mediums. The only driver that set a lap time on the mediums that is better than the softs, I believe here. Let's look at best here. I am wrong.
I think it's Kieran.
Goofy. Kieran, best runner on the mediums, as he never mind about that. He just went P2 on the softs for 7.4. So it looks like here, it looks like we're going to have a very tight qualifying session here with everyone on the softs, but Gary on an outlap on the softs as well, so it seems like everyone is electing to do, I believe it's soft medium.
Yeah.
You can correct me on that. Yep. So you can either do the reverse strategy of medium softs or soft mediums. Personally, I would do soft mediums unless you're outside the top 10, as I believe that is an Alpine and Mercedes getting out of the way for, I believe that was Kieran there.
Yeah, it was Kieran.
Yes, it was, as he's on an end lap.
Yeah, he's out of your rest and fuel.
Yep. So, I believe the next person to start the lap will be the Mercedes of Gary. But something, if you haven't read the latest F1 update patch notes, they got rid of the qualifying timer glitch, which is something very good.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
But you want to go on a hot lap with Gary here?
Sure. Turn 1 brake, 50 board. Went a little bit deep there, but yeah, a little bit of correcting, but Gets it nice and smooth. That sector one all the way already over. See what it does here. 15.8, one step up, right before the 50. Puts the inside curve, don't run up too wide. The tricky right-hander where back on the very difficult on the outside. Goes to 50 here, just makes it a little bit wide. Stays within track limits. Puts that inside curve very nicely. Does not go up too wide, plugs the inside. It's a nice exit. Going to probably on the hardest corner, so I'll lock up that. Well, Goofy's retired. Hopefully I'm pretty good between that and Gary so far. The second split, 51-2. He was, I think, about 2 cents down on what hard outfit, so I think he's on for about a 7.8 here.
Well, coming across the main straight now, it's gonna look like a 7-something, that is for sure. Coming across the line, he does a 7.4.
7.7.
A 7.7, I mean. Now, yeah, that will put him up into P4 for the time being. But 7 minutes left to qualifying. I believe everyone now is gonna use their second set. Ron is on an outlap now, but like you said, the Aston Martin of Goosey retiring, that will make him start on the mediums unless Mitchie qualifies him.
Yep.
Which,
Did you retire in the pits?
no, he retired on track.
Oh.
The next person to cross the line.
Ron's starting.
Zdeek. He's on a lap. Rage.
No, he's back again. He was pressing down the second split.
Yeah. But the driver to look out for here is the Ferrari driver, Ron Swanson. No doubt, only lead in the championship by 10 points. I didn't look at constructors. I just realized that. We're going to have to go over that in the formation lap. But
Really
Ron going through the center S's here. You're going to activate the DRS drag reduction system. You gain around 10 miles an hour if you're American, but 20 kilometers. He's a 10th up on his Sector 1 split. Let's see what he does for Sector 2, but looking very smooth on the steering and brake and throttle inputs here. Now very wide, sticking it out in 5th gear, goes up into 6th gear and finally brakes, hugs the inside curb there, keeping it very clean, do not invalidate. Using the lower gears to get that turn in, which will be better for the lap and officially if it benefits with the setup, because setups do help that. Ron with a little oversteer on the snap on the rear, and a little bit of tank slap. We're going up to the Sector 2 split. 3 tenths up, that will put him. Yep, that will put a 7.4 on the board. That will be ahead of Kieran, but still behind the AMS Hamilton and the Mercedes. But now coming across the line, he's going to go to the line and do a 7.5 actually. So made a little mistake on the final corner, and that will put him only up in the P3. But crucial for a championship because at this point, consistency matters as Kieran goes top actually. 7.1, we're about to see it.
AMS Hamilton is 2 cents up already. So I think he's going to go fastest. I don't know if he's going to break to the 6s yet, but here comes Hamilton on his debut across the line. Goes even faster by 9 thousandths of a second. So Hamilton's been very impressive so far in qualifying.
Yes, but qualifying is a whole different thing in the race, and we've seen that with multiple drivers all across in multiple leagues actually, where they have more quality pace than race pace, but no assumptions have been made, but we have seen drivers have better quality pace than race pace, but have to wait and see in how AMS Hamilton does in his debut as Solar. McLaren goes up P8 on the softs, so every driver now has done a best lap time on the softs except for Goofy and Mitchie. Goofy's he DNF'd while on his soft run, and Mitchie hasn't set a lap time yet, as everyone is going in the pit lane to basically suit up for their final runs.
Gary's on an outlap to start his lap. So, yeah, he's not going to have enough time for another run. I don't think. Unless he invalidates this when he goes in the pits, he might be able to squeeze it one lap. But if he doesn't end up, he won't have
Mitchie's retired in the pit lane.
For last first challenge.
Yes, but Gary in the Mercedes, the other championship protagonist, the lookout for. He's starting his lap now, going into turn 1, almost touches the grass, but looks like he corrected the car, but now no invalidation to the Senna Estes. It was a very clean and consistent Senna Estes. Does a straight line to gain a little bit of that speed, not been able to scrub off any speed if he goes outside. Barely up on a Sector 1 split. he doesn't invalidate through there as he went very wide. He's probably going to gain a lot of time doing that. But like you said, going in the tricky right-hander with the outside can be very, very tricky as Ardell's retired in the pit lane. But Gary with a tank slapper coming out of there, but going into the long left-hander. Very hard to lock up as he doesn't, but long right-hander right here, like you said, hardest corner to not lock up at. Doesn't lock up at all, at least visually, but going through sector 2 split, 2/10 up, which will put a 7-5, which will put him right next to Ron. But here he goes, dude, going through the main straight. It is a long straight. This is where your straight line speed would kick in, but coming across the line, what will Gary do?
7-5.
It is a 7.5, barely out of Ron. So the two championship protagonists are going to line up on the same grid row as Gary, I believe. No, he will not. He will not get another run in.
Yeah, he's not going to find somebody validated that. He could have maybe gotten into the pits and had one time. It would have been very, very tight. But, and Ron also
Ron's actually retired. Very interesting. Something to point out here is it's gotten overcast. But it will not matter, but
yeah,
it will cool down the sauce if you're overheating in your quali run. But if you're overheating in your quali run, you better make those tire pressures go down. That is for sure.
And Ichigo, I think, is the first person on their final lap.
He is sector 1 split. Let's see what he does. He's actually down on his time, so he's actually invalidated. He's gonna have to. Yeah. Yes, that is something to look out for. But Kieran is on a lap now in the Haas. I wasn't able to see a sector 1 split, but Hamilton's starting his lap now. But something to look out for is Solar, Whitby, and Rage's times. But Gary's in the pit lane, so that is his qualifying done and dusted. But we're looking at the Haas right now as the battle for pole is very, very tight.
Yeah, I saw his second one, but he's 11,000 down, so basically even.
So, very close. Let's see what his sector 2 split is, as he gets no tank slapper compared to Gary and Ron. Up to sector 2 split. He's down by half a tenth, as there is actually raining.
It should go live.
So, Hamilton's invalidated unless, I think that's going to be qualifying done and dusted unless Kieran improves on his time.
It's possible.
Barely down.
Yeah, 1,000 down. You can definitely improve still because it's very, very light rain that goes to the end of your lap. So it's only going to get way worse. I think the last person on the lap that's not Solar.
As Hamilton goes in the pit lane, so Solar is a 10th up on his time, so unless Solar has a beautiful sector 3, I believe that is intentional crash by Rage down there, I see him. But let's see what the McLaren of Rage is able to do. If he has a magical sector 3, I think he can get pole here, but like I said, it has to be magical. But coming across the line now, he does a 7.7, which will put him up ahead of Woofy. And that is P7 for the McLaren driver as we're just running on Dixie as she goes to pull in the pit lane for qualifying to be over.
It was very, very close times between two drivers. Look, Hamilton and Kieran less than 100th apart from each other. Gary and Ron 200th apart. Ichigo and Ardell 200th apart also. Solar and Whitby 200th apart. Very, very close.
Yes, everyone is close indeed, but that is going to be exciting to look out for in the race if everyone is just as are in the race. So something to look out for in the race.
Yep, we gotta wait for Hamilton to retire in the pits. I don't know, or not Hamilton, Kieran. I don't know what he's doing.
Yes, as I am now. Wait,
I guess.
how's qualifying not ended yet? There we go. There you go. Now, qualifying is over. AMS Hamilton on pole, the rookie driver. Something spectacular to talk about for a rookie driver. But P2 is Kieran in the Haas. In third, we have Gary in the Mercedes. Ron fourth in the Ferrari. Dixie Ishigo 5th in the Alfa Romeo, Ardell 6th in the Red Bull, as he's a driver almost to be eliminated at this Grand Prix, so he definitely needs to finish ahead of Gary and Ron, say, in championship fight. Solar, P7 in the McLaren, Whiffy, P8 in the Ferrari, Rage, P9 in the Alpine, Goofy, P10 in Aston Martin, and Mitchie, P11 in the Red Bull.
Yeah, I guess we can go over constructors.
Yes, we will once formation lap starts.
Okay.
But we're finally loaded into the race. But if we look at race director, Goofy will have to start in the mediums due to him qualifying on them and then crashing out. But something interesting to look out for is Mitchie. Will he start on the softer mediums? I would have to make the bet that he'll start on softs. But we're just going to have to wait and see.
Well, the mediums are significantly slower than the softs for almost the entire first stint, so it'll be very, very tough to stick in the train, so yeah.
Yep, it will.
Tough.
Softs for Mitchie.
Yep.
But there we go. Formation lap has started, and I will make my promise to look at the constructors. Ferrari has overtaken Mercedes by only 1 point gap differential between the Ferrari and Mercedes. Ferrari P1, Mercedes P2. We have Alfa Romeo P3, 9 points off of Mercedes and 10 off of Ferrari. Red Bull P4, 43 behind Ferrari. Aston Martin 5th, 153 behind Ferrari. McLaren 6th, Alpine 7th, AlphaTauri 8th, Haas 9th, and Williams in 10th. So a very tight constructors going on in Tier 3 right now. This is also another battle to look out for, is any of these top 3 teams in the constructors, which are Ferrari, Mercedes, and Alfa Romeo, once again.
Yes.
If any of those teams step over each other, we could have Red Bull definitely back in the mix for these constructors.
Good indeed, because, yeah, only having like a 10-point difference between the top 3, that can fluctuate with like one overtake so easily. It's a very small margin. There's still a lot of points left on the table in constructors, so that lead can go away very, very quickly.
Yes, it can. No room for error, especially for this championship for both Gary and Ron. Gary, P3, Ron, P4. Like I said, they're going to be lining up on the grid, on the same grid row. It's going to be something to look out for.
I think we've seen
Now, the formation. Yes, we have not. But Hamilton and Mercedes now first driver to line up on their grid slots. Start this Grand Prix. And there it is. But last person to line up on the grid will be Mitchie. But I guess Goofy wants this to be special, so he'll start last on the grid to get this race underway.
Well done, Goofy. You got them fame.
Yep, you got some screen time. And there he goes. But 4 races left. Who's going to come out on top for this Grand Prix? 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go as Hamilton gets a very good start compared to the likes of Kieran, Gary. P2, it's going to be a Mercedes. 1-2s are going 3 wide in the turn 1. That's wing going off for the Mercedes of Hamilton, I believe that is. But Gary, P2, Ron stays in P4 for the time being, but that is crucial, for here comes Gary for the lead. What is happening between the top 2 on the start? Now Gary has already taken the lead, as the championship's already flipped on his head already, but it's only lap 1, so time will have to see if Gary has the true pace, but Kieran is definitely losing time, as I see Ardell is last for some reason. Mitchie is already battling for P7. What a great start for him, but I believe Kieran was the one that had wing damage there off the start. Very reminiscent of what I did in Season 5, where I got wing damage and Ascena S's on lap 1. So it's going to be an uphill climb for the Haas driver, if I'm correct, and he's the one that has wing damage.
He's having the lift off.
But, yeah. Well, we're going to see him in the pits this time unless as now he is just making everyone stack up. But here comes Ron in the Ferrari on Amos Hamilton as he's going to pull out to the right-hand side. Dixie should go behind him as they're going wheel to wheel going into turn 1. No contact been made. Hamilton gives Ron enough room, but Ron has to back out of it for the time being. But the sister team of Alfa Romeo, Dixie, oh no! No way!
He had the overtake on him. I see what scared him. He lost the car and hit the wall. That's 100. Yeah, that's definitely wing damage. So this championship.
No front wing.
This championship is thrown wide open.
Mitchie being Mitchie, but what a dream come true this has been for Gary.
It's a Mercedes 1.
He's in the lead. Yeah, it's a Mercedes 1-2 as well. So that means Ron, with no front wing, he'll have to come in the pit. That'll make him P9, only 2 points to his name. So that'll be a 23-point differential between Gary and Ron. Gary will have the championship lead by 13 points as it stands. So a safety car will have to happen for the Ferrari driver to even get back up into contention for this win. But speaking of the sister team, Dixie Ishiko Alfa Romeo, he's going to go after Amos Hamilton as he goes into turn 1. He's deep on the brakes, but Hamilton's actually deeper as Dixie Ishiko will have the... But for constructors-wise, we're going to have to need Ron's teammate Whiffy step up, and he's P4 as Dixie Ishiko's on the grass trying to get around Hamilton as he does get the pass done. So let's see what Dixie Ishiko can do to catch up and pass Gary, because Ron needs any type of luck as he's actually P10 now. So he has to go on the mediums, which is not good.
Yeah, mediums I don't think will make it to the end. Because he struggled a lot in Mexico to go to the end. So after he was on the safety car, yeah, he's not going to go to the end. He's banking on a safety car to bail him out.
Yep, but anything can happen. Anyone can make a mistake, hit the wall DNF, or even get damaged, because safety car can come out and get damaged. But Hamilton will get DRS here as he's actually on the battery. He's at 80 battery compared to Dixie. She goes 50, but DRS has now been activated for Hamilton. Let's see if he uses it to get around the Dixie, or will he wait? But getting closer. He's not going to dive it. He's just going to stay in line and maybe do the pass on this straight here at the Senna S. But we have a bit of a DRS training for him between Ishigo, Hamilton, Whitby, Solar, and Rage.
We do indeed, and I think Ishigo is trying to just keep Hamilton behind him. Ishigo was pulled in by like 6 tenths in the last lap. He's just trying to get into that DRS gear, getting past from Hamilton.
Yes, Dixie Ishigo will get DRS on Gary. I believe it will just be gloves off, as Ron is actually outside of the points now. So that's going to be crucial for this championship. So Ron needs anybody to get around Gary for this championship.
Indeed, and Ichigo half a tenth behind, almost loses the car. I think his right front was overheating a little bit from pushing so hard, which does happen. Yeah, he just missed out, I think. Yep, I think he was probably a thousandth for a second. Oh, no, he did get it. He did get DRS, so...
No, he doesn't have it on my screen.
Oh, yeah, it showed for me.
Yeah. This game's been good. As Dixie... What? Is this saying that I'm streaming?